All right, it's time for everybody's favorite segment. Facts are your friends. Cue the Camaro music. Are personality tests accurate? Are online mental health assessments worth the zeros and ones they are printed on the internets? Oh boy. All right, so get your I don't believe you. Get them all ready, because here we go. Can you trust personality test is the name of this article from Psychology Today. Are personality tests accurate from Psychology Today? BetterHelp.com, personality test accuracy and practical uses. On and on and on and on. There are a million of them. Myers-Briggs, let's see here. The DISC assessment, Winslow, Hexaco, Big Five, Little Five. There's not a Little Five. But there's also, I'm going to lump these all into a bucket here. There's also, maybe say it this way. It used to be the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. The manual that medical practitioners and mental health practitioners use to make mental health diagnosis. It's a big medical book. It's got diagnostic codes in it. It's got all this medical language and jargon. It used to be, like when I was in grad school, we had to spend, it was a couple $100, I think, to get it. And you have to learn how to read it, and you got to learn how to use it. Now it's just on the internet. Everybody, so there's no context anymore. Everything's stripped of context, and it's just Googling, do I have ADHD? And here's a 10-question quiz on Facebook. Or do I have borderline personality disorder and comorbid anxiety and major depressive disorder? And I'm just going to Google it. And then there's these tests you can take online while you're on the toilet, and it will just tell you like, I got post-traumatic stress disorder. Or I've got, agoraphobia, whatever the thing is. So, here's my thoughts on these. And we've talked about them a little bit in the past. And so I want to be pretty clear about it. Here's some things. Let me look at some of these things we printed off here. A 2018 article in Scientific American offered a harsh review of Myers-Briggs and other personality tests. Essentially, they're saying there is zero science to back them up. None. Some have come back and said, well, that article was a little bit harsh. There's some stuff. There is some utility. There is some good information out there. There's no studies saying that they're not great. I'm just gonna take a quick left turn here. I can go through all these, but I think I'm gonna save us all a bunch of time. Here's the deal on personality tests on online mental health diagnostic tools. Number one, they can be fun. It can be fun. When I have my magical time and I'm late for the 17th time that day for something, it can be fun to ask myself, what is wrong with me? And to Google, do I have ADHD? And to take a 10-question thing. Or maybe by now, they maybe even uploaded some of the clinical assessments. Cool. That can be fun. They can also give a baseline for conversation. So I can go to my therapist and say, hey, I took this 10-question thing. It said I scored a 10 out of 10 on ADHD. I would love to find out if this is what I have, and I'd love to learn about ADHD, and then, more importantly, learn how I can live my life based on this new insight. Great, cool. They should not be used in any sort of concrete predictive way. Same with personality tests. I'm an ENFP or an ISTJ or whatever the thing is. Cool. It's a self-reporting tool. It's the way you think you show up in the world. And by the way, every time I've taken one of those, strengths, whatever the thing is, people around me always say, John, no, you don't. You do it like this. And I think, man, I come on really hard when I answer questions. I'm harsh. And they'll say, you're like the nicest guy I know. Or I'll say, like, I'm like the nicest guy I know. And they're like, you're kind of the worst, right? Other people are often infinitely more reflective about how you show up in the world because they experience you. And so they can be fun, but they shouldn't be used in some predictive way. You should not hire somebody because they have the wrong letters from an internet test. You shouldn't fire somebody because they have the wrong letters from an internet test. That's poor management. That's poor leadership. You should not marry somebody because of the wrong Enneagram number. You should not marry somebody because they have different big fives than you do or a different love language than you do. Don't use these for diagnostic tools. Only use them for reflection, for looking in the mirror and going, that feels like it nails me. Feels like it sums it up. That's a good thing. In our culture, we are terrible about being reflective. We're so concerned with how other people make us feel. We're so concerned with our latest outrage, the latest thing we are, offended by. By the way, I was having this conversation this weekend with a friend. In the new attention economy, so let's say 150 years ago, you had the town crier. You had the kid that came out on the corner, with the newspaper saying, "Hear ye, hear ye. Here's what's going on in the world." And you had to get up and go see what was going on. You had to bring your attention to the info. Now, news is everywhere. It's just pumped into your head 24/7, 365. It's on every screen. And I'm beginning to wonder if the way I counteract, in the past, the way I counteracted the world, the way I handled the world was by getting the information. Now, the way I protect myself is to walk away. In an attention economy, the greatest way I can hurt somebody's business isn't to comment on everything and to stamp and scream it's to walk away. Just to walk away. But that's about being reflective. How do you show up? How do you answer? How do you feel how do you experience the world? Cool. These things are good for that. They're good to discuss with friends and colleagues, to get some ideas on how you might be viewing yourself incorrectly or on how you can double down on the things that you're good at. That's awesome. That's very good. It's very good. I never understood. I was, one of the strengths quests was a maximizer. Until I took that thing and it said, you're a maximizer. You look at somebody's idea and you say, man, this could be this. I never thought of that. That was right. I do feel that way a lot. That doesn't mean I don't have my own ideas. That doesn't mean my maximization is always correct. That doesn't mean I have permission to be late to everything. The number of times especially when like Strings Quest first came out, and I would have an employee and be like, hey, you've been late 5 days in a row. I'm like, hey, sorry, bro. I'm a maximizer. I got to wait till the good ideas are there. And then no, you got to be on time. Got to be on time. So let me say this profoundly and boldly. Never diagnose yourself from the internet. Ever, 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 ever. Always see a professional medical or mental health practitioner. Full stop. End of story. Don't get on the internet at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep and start Googling, because you're going to figure out you've got 40 different diagnostics, 40 different quote unquote mental health issues, which I don't even like that word. In addition to training, professionals have wisdom. They've seen lots and lots of other people. If you go back and listen to this show over the last couple of years, the one thing I love to bring to people is social norming. You're not crazy. There's a whole bunch of people experiencing the world just like you. You're not broken. Your body's just trying to take care of you. And so a mental health practitioner can contextualize something. You may feel like you are out of control. They'll look at you and go, you're good. You're good. I asked one of the guys who trained me recently, he was in town, Nashville, Dr. Young, and we had dinner. And I said, hey, is like once and for all, I trust him, is oppositional defiant disorder, is that real? I hear data on one side, I hear conversations with practitioners on the other side. Here's what he said. He said, yep, it's real, and you've never seen it. I said, what do you mean I've never seen it? I've seen fifth graders and 5-year-olds losing their mind. And he said, until you've been in a psych ward and there's 6 grown men unable to hold down a 7-year-old who's literally able to pull a door off of its hinges, like, it's real. You probably just never seen it. That's the difference between, or go to work when you do your mental health degree, you get your mental health graduate degree, and you go do some time in a psychiatric hospital or a mental health ward. Oh, that's what major depression looks like. There's context there. Don't go to the internet. Okay? We used to know who we were in relationship to others. One of the most brilliant minds, I think, is a guy named Andrew Peterson. He's a songwriter and author. He says, your community defines your calling. Your community, the people you love and interact with and talk to and experience every day will tell you, man, you're not going to want a job where all you do is budgets sitting at a table all day. You're going to go crazy. You don't need some faceless, mindless computer program to tell you what your personality is. Ask the people around you. Ask your friends. And if you don't have those people, let this be a sign. Go get those people in your life. Find a mentor that will tell you, dude, I think your strengths are this. Let's discuss that. Let's have these conversations. Real people and real friends. So have fun with personality exams or personality tests. Have fun with them. Get online and see with one of these internet quizzes if you might have generalized anxiety disorder. Cool. Ask a friend. And then go see a professional. Go talk to somebody with training and expertise and wisdom and context. That's the path to getting well. Not trying to solve this with the internets.